speaking of visual, I loved his goal celebration. That, to me, was
cheeky.
So cheeky.
Awesome, though. But not insulting. No one's going to go and Lars Eller him.
I think his smile after
Kane did it back to him
was even better.
And okay,
yeah.
So this is another reason why I love it, because I don't think this was like, okay, so when I score, this is exactly what I'm going to do, and I'm going to make sure I upset the other team and flip off the fans or whatever. No, it was pure emotion. He scored it, and it was just like, oh, I can't hear you now. Loved it, but loved even more that Patrick Kane's response was not a la Brad Marchand. Like the Chicago Blackhawks didn't respond that way. He went out, scored, and then he couldn't even hold his laughter in
laughing as he was
when he was holding his hand up to his ear. I thought it was so brilliant. Yeah, so Matthews, of course, is smirking on the bench.
And maybe even more fitting in Chicago, because that goal celebration, and we heard so much of Chelsea Dagger with Stanley Cup wins, and that building is so loud and so big. And so to throw the hand to the ear in that building is maybe even a little better.
It was awesome. So Kane, we heard what Matthews had to say, and obviously he's like, there's nothing much he can do but kind of smirk and says, Patty Kane's one of his favorites. He admires him. We know Patrick Kane has his own love affair with Auston Matthews. At that media tour in Chicago last month, he was like, Auston Matthews is the best.
The bromance was blooming.
It was blooming. He was I think even Kane was the one who's like, Toronto Maple Leafs, they're the ones that are going to win the Stanley Cup if you had to pick a team other than your own team. And all because of Auston Matthews. He loved him. So his response after the game was, I got a lot of respect for him. I didn't really like what he did there, but what are you going to do? It's an emotional game. I'm sure I've done some stupid things and stupid celebrations before, too. He's still a pretty young kid, and these are big games for him. But, yeah, a lot of respect for his game and the way he plays, and he's a remarkable player. He's going to be a great player for a long time. Just a heat-of-the-moment type of thing,
You'd like to draw the analogies between those two teams, and I lived in Chicago watching the drafting of Kane and Taves. So you have a number 1 pick and a number 3 pick in Kane and Taves. You have a number 1 pick and a number 4 pick in Matthews and Marner. One is a small, skilled winger. One is the big prototype power center. Then you add the Hall of Famer in Hossa. You add the John Tavares model. So there's a lot of similarities in the way the two teams are starting.
Who's Duncan Keith?
There's a lot of similarities in the way these two teams are starting. I was not answering that before I had answered
so
who Brent Seabrook was.
So it goes back to my previous question about Nylander.
I said the team's starting.
Yeah.
Yes.
Duncan Keith's probably a Hall of Famer, right?
Pardon me?
Duncan Keith? He's probably a Hall of Famer.
Pretty close, yeah.
Won an Norris, the Cups and everything else. Internationally.
He's pretty close.
Yeah.
I know we want to pick on the Leafs, but I mean, it's true, kind of like what's going on with Chicago. And I know their goalie situation is tough, right?
Check any preview show.
Yeah.
If Corey Crawford was not going to be able to play, then
you knew this was
the goals against would be
and
tough.
we have not brought up the fact that the 3 teams that the Leafs have played so far were all picked pretty low by all procrastinators.
Prognosticators or procrastinators? You put in your prognostication a little bit late.
Yeah.
Like you might have, Andy.
I'm a huge procrastinator.
But, everyone picked these
3
teams to not make the playoffs and to finish pretty low. I mean,
and yet Chicago's won the first 2 games before Toronto. Montreal hasn't lost
yet.
Have
performed well.
Ottawa's done okay.
Just to like kind of quickly go back to the celebration, and we see it across all sports. Like baseball, is the one that ticks me off the most.
You would be so obnoxious as a goal celebrator. I'm just looking at that.
Don't
little
let them
smile.
score then.
I could just.
But this
see
is my
that.
point. So like in baseball, like heaven forbid, should you celebrate a strikeout? Like the batter gets all pissy at the pitcher, and then heaven forbid, should you flip a bat, you got to get punched in the face, and then even Brad Marchand. Now the Lars Eller, I think that's a little different. It was like 7-0, and he went back to the bench, but there's a part of me that's like the reason why at least I love this whole celebration the best is because Patrick Kane responded where it kind of matters, right? Which is getting a goal.
Didn't go club him over the head. He went and scored.
He essentially got his team a point. Right? Like, okay, they didn't pull off the victory, but what he did got them a point, and then he gave the little cheekiness back. Like, I just love the fact that why can't you I'm not saying it doesn't tick you off, and Patrick Kane was honest. He's like, I didn't like what he did. Plain and simple.
He didn't hate it, though. He was like,
but he didn't respond in a way where he's like, I'm not going to come and slash you now.
My building, I'm going to score.
But like how exactly? So how would you like? I don't know if you ever experienced. We know you shared your story because
Wah, wah. Mine was closer to the Lars Eller inappropriate big game lead celebration. Yes.
Yeah, so you had a big, and you ended up scoring with the 6th goal in that victory. But what people didn't know was you celebrated as hard as you did because it meant bonus money for you.
So it was a money thing.
But guys
So it was an
completely held it
imbalanced game,
against
was
you.
it?
It was a 6-goal to 6-1 win, but it was. But I was the only one with individual bonuses on my team.
Oh, because you'd been traded to a team.
No,
with
I
team
was. Everyone had been recycled over. It was Toronto, and I didn't get any of the team ones we were getting because we had a good year.
Right.
So every week I was watching guys get cash, and I got nothing. So I was very excited to get mine. It's like 6 figures to get.
Yeah.
You know, I was excited.
Very significant. So you had a little.
Didn't go over
Sully at
well.
a
Tampa
6-1.
chased me for years. Yes. Yep.
See, but I don't know. I don't know.
That's great.
I'm not saying
Not my
that you
finest
like
moment.
it.
That's great.
I'm not saying that
But
you
you know
like
what,
that,
Andy?
but I'm just saying, why would you respond in a stupid way? Respond in a great way that then gets your
Yeah.
fans cheering.
But we talked about it a lot, like there is an element of entertainment. There is an element of fun that this game should be. Like I know it's all about the team and the focus and don't want to upset anyone, but don't take everything so personal.
Well,
Have some fun.
The Indianapolis Colts defensive backfield had one the other day. They, I think, had an interception, and they'd obviously been scheming for this,
Yeah.
and they all raced like 30 yards down to the other goal line, and they stood in a pose thing like they were posing for a picture, except they were losing by like 3 touchdowns, and they hadn't
Time
shut
and
down
place for everything.
anybody.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
And the other quarterback had like 300 yards
Yeah.
in passing, but they'd thought about this and scripted this celebration so long they were going to do it.
Just don't be the fun police, right? Well, the NFL is a great example when they took away celebrations
The
and
no fun league.
nobody liked it. Just don't do it. People love this
You
kind
have
of
to
stuff.
celebrate.
And it was organic. It was
Yes.
natural. It was spontaneous. It was a fun back and forth game, and it was great.
Hey,
All
you
right.
And he's the
expect the
first star of
fans
the
to
league.
celebrate.
He
The
can do whatever
fans
he
are
wants this
celebrating.
week.
Yeah, it's fun.